Today, I'm making sourdough sandwich loaves. This recipe has been requested by you from seeing it in my previous sourdough baking day. And I'm finally making a tutorial on how to make it from start to finish, along with glimpses of the other breads I have going on this particular spring day. All links will be in the caption below. About this bread, it is our family favorite sandwich bread. I know it by heart and probably make this most often. It's just such a handy bread to have in the freezer for tuna salad sandwiches, toast, casseroles. My husband likes to just snack on it with Irish gold butter. It's really such a staple. So to start, I'm weighing my grains. This recipe calls for 610 grams of hard white wheat and 485 grams of hard red wheat. I run the berries through the grain mill. I have the Wonder Mill and absolutely love it. While that's going, I start measuring the water. I need 805 grams of water. I like to use lukewarm tap water. It does not need to be warm because the freshly milled flour is already warm straight from the grain mill. To the water, I add 1.5 cups of ripe starter, the freshly milled flours, and mix everything with my hands to form a sticky dough. It will look shaggy and very sticky. I let this rest for about 30 minutes before I add the coconut oil, honey, and salt. This step is important, and you'll notice how hydrated it looks after this auto-release step. As far as my sourdough starter, I usually like to wake up early in the morning, take it out of the fridge, and feed it with 2 heaping cups of flour and about 2 to 3 cups of tap water. It could be warm. I just whisk it together in the jar, and I usually do this once a week. So that is usually how I feed my sourdough starter. And in about a couple of hours, it's ready to be used for breads like this. Notice how tacky this dough is. It's not too sticky, it's not too wet, it's just right. And that's how it looks. Next, I'm getting crackers going for a tuna salad dip later this week. So I'll just keep this in the fridge until I need it. It's really simple. I just mix freshly milled flour with some sourdough starter, cold butter, a splash of milk, onion powder, and salt. The mixer brings this together, and I just pop it into the bread bag and move on to the next thing. I like to make all of my breads on one day of the week, so typically I have multiple things going when I feed my sourdough starter. On this particular April day, I'm adding bagels to the menu for quick breakfasts. And I'm also going to do half topped with shredded Asiago for lunch sandwiches. These are so good, filled with ham and Swiss cheese. I have those sandwiches on the blog at alonascooking.com if you want to try them. My daughter wanted to mix the bagel dough, so I let her do that. The dough does look a little bit rough and dry, but it eventually comes together and the bagels come out really yummy. Here, I'm making my mother-in-law's sourdough bowls, or Boules. She really simplified this recipe. She bakes Boules every day, and I think they are amazing for how simple she does them. I'd like to keep some on hand in the fridge for baking fresh or taking to someone's house during the week, so Boules it is. For the Boules, I'm mixing everything together. These aren't with 100% freshly milled flour, but for Boules, I think it will be okay. White flour really makes this bread moist and airy like San Francisco sourdough bread. So for the Boules, I mix together 3 cups of water, 1 cup of sourdough starter, 4 cups of white flour, 2 cups of hard red wheat that I freshly milled, and 1.5 tablespoons of salt. The starter is ripe, and this makes about 2 large Boules. My mother-in-law mixes this up, performs 3 stretch and folds within 2 hours. She then bulk ferments the dough for 3 to 4 hours. After that, she'll shape it and put the loaves on parchment paper right into her aluminum Dutches. I think the aluminum Dutch idea is really smart for people who don't want to deal with like heavy-duty cast iron pots. She'll let the boules rise for 1 to 2 hours on parchment paper in the pans, and then she bakes them. If you ever have leftover freshly milled flour, here's a tip for you. Every time I have extra than I need, I will put it into a Ziploc bag and keep it in the fridge for other recipes. This is so the flour doesn't go rancid. These are all the breads that I made on this day. Okay, back to the sourdough sandwich loaves. I am getting a cast iron pan, and I'm going to be weighing 50 grams of coconut oil, 50 grams of honey, and I'm going to melt that on the stove. And I'm going to measure out my salt. I need 21 grams of salt for the sandwich bread. This is how the sourdough sandwich bread dough looks like after 30 minutes of sitting. It's very stretchy and elastic, and it just hydrated so well. So I'm going to take that melted coconut oil and salt that I measured out, and I'm just going to mix this with my hands until all the oil, the coconut oil and honey, is well incorporated into the dough. You can see that I'm just mixing. There was some clumps of salt that I went ahead and crushed. I grind my own sea salt because it's really coarse. So I just grind it with a coffee grinder, and that's why it kind of clumped up. But yeah, I'm just mixing the sandwich bread dough with my hands until all of that is incorporated. The dough is just so beautiful to work with. I love this dough. It's just perfect. There shouldn't be any wet spots, and this is how the dough looks like after I incorporated the coconut oil and honey. So that's how it should look like after, and I'm just gonna let that sit for about 20 to 30 minutes. Here are the other doughs I did this day. After the sandwich dough has sat for 20 minutes, after I added the coconut oil, I'll do 4 stretch and folds like every 20 minutes. And this is how the dough looks after bulk fermentation. It has risen for about 4 hours, and it looks like it has risen. And I'm taking out my pastry mat. I love this. Because the dough is a little tacky, this silicone mat just makes shaping the sandwich loaves so easy. And I use my Brent scraper to divide the dough into 3 equal pieces. Then you'll take each piece and flatten it into like a rectangle and roll it up jelly roll style. This will give it like tension and make a really soft and fluffy sandwich loaf. I'm using 8x4 loaf pans, and I like to line them with parchment paper because I just don't have to deal with bread sticking because this is a little tacky dough. And yeah, I just like these darker aluminum pans than like lighter stainless steel ones. For some reason, the lighter stainless steel loaf pans like make the bottoms so pale, and I really like to use the darker aluminum ones because it just comes out, the bottoms come out evenly brown, and that has been what has been working for me. So I'm just sticking with that. This recipe makes 3 sandwich loaves, and I am finishing rolling the 3rd one. And yeah, I'm just gonna cover this up with a towel and let these rise in the pans for 1 to 2 hours. While the sandwich bread is rising, I'm gonna finish up the other doughs I have going. And right now I'm gonna be shaping the bagels, and I'm gonna let the bagels rise for about 1 to 2 hours after I shape them. I have these bagels on my blog, and just search for the sourdough bagels with freshly milled flour. That's the recipe that I'm using today. It's very simple, very easy, and the family just loves them. I did want to mention that I do make my own everything bagel seasoning. I just do equal parts of minced onion, minced garlic, poppy seeds, and sesame seeds, and we have been loving this. I saved this container and just keep reusing it. The spout works perfectly for sprinkling over the bagels. Well, thanks for coming along. I hope this tutorial was helpful.